Hey there, all you movie kings and queens. Welcome to a real special episode of the Real Gay Movie Show. I am your host, Ryan Provost. I don't usually do the intro. And with me, as always, is my lovely co-host, Mike Lovins. How's it going, Mike?
Hello, Ryan. This is going to be fun.
It is going to be fun, and you know why, Mike?
Why?
Because for the first time in Real Gay Movie Show history, it's not just going to be you and me.
Just you and I.
The dogs.
Yeah.
With their special cameos. We got a special guest today to do our first ever guest Fierce 5
Fierce
films.
5.
Fierce 5. I'm so excited.
Well, stop with the suspense here. Who the fuck is it?
It is my really good friend, a lovely individual, a really funny person, one of the best comedians you'll ever see, that we are so lucky to have here in Columbus. My friend, Mr. Wonder Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Doug.
Good day.
Doug is ready in his Hellraiser shirt. Love it.
Awesome. Well,
Maybe that's a preview of what's to come.
we'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out. So as we talked about when Mike and I did our Fierce 5 films, this will be a chance for our guest to do his Fierce 5. But before we get to that, let's get to know Doug a little bit. So, Mr. Wonder Doug, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Who are you?
Who are you? Like on the inside.
I'm a queer comedian who sells dildos, and I run a lot of shows around town.
That's where I know you from.
Yes, all the butt plugs. I don't know. I also talk about my bipolar disorder and alcoholism on stage. I don't know. I was telling Ryan in the car that I was like, I feel like Wonder Doug is right now a franchise that is in need of a reboot. And
Okay.
So I appreciate you guys letting me on while I'm figuring that out.
Well, we appreciate you being here.
So in the reboot, who is the young hot actor playing Wonder Doug?
Matt Loxley.
I can see that for sure. Yeah. Okay. So and just so you know, so you don't sell like dildos and butt plugs out of your car. You actually work at a porn store.
Yeah, I work at the Garden. It's one of the largest adult stores in the Midwest, and we've been open since 1997. It recently kind of went under ownership of the family's daughter, so it's kind of like now under female ownership, and I kind of got promoted and that as well. So I'm doing marketing and human resources for them now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And the Garden is a great place for your sex shop needs. That's where I go. I've had a lot of great help there. It's wonderful.
He's there every night.
Every other night.
Let me know when you have a sale on Spunk.
It's my favorite. Use the,
Spunk sale?
the hybrid. Is
Yeah,
what I use.
that's awesome.
Okay. And Doug is very modest, but what he won't tell you is he is one of the most generous comedians. He fosters a lot of younger up and coming comedians. If you're ever out seeing a comedy show in Columbus, chances are at least most of the people you're seeing at some point were helped out by Doug, either given a shot to be a headliner for a show or given a shot to host a show. So he isn't just a really funny guy, but he's also a really great and generous a comedian who helps other folks.
He okayed my first time trying to get up on stage.
You should have heard some of the things he said to me offline after about it, though. Yeah. If he tells more fucking dad joke,
Yeah, right?
he'll
No, I thought
never
you were
work in this
fine.
town again.
Yeah, I definitely have a weird like Wizard of Oz man behind the curtain thing, but I don't know. I feel like I have it. My name's out there enough, and I have enough opportunities, so I always try to like give other people opportunities. And plus, when I started like 7 years ago, there weren't a lot of queer comedians, and there weren't as many queer comedians. Excuse me, and the people weren't as nice. They weren't. It's a lot more
Accepting.
accepting now, and people are a lot more good with helping each other. I didn't really have that when I started, so I think I go out of my way to make sure the new people feel welcome, or the new kid I tell not to say that racist shit on stage.
There you go.
There you go. That's good advice. Don't say racist shit on stage.
Yes.
And I feel, I'm still relatively new to this comedy thing. I've only been doing it for about a year now, and I feel like there's a good number of queer comedians here. And probably most of them are your little queer comedian babies.
There was like a small handful when I started, and now it's like there's a lot. There's like a dozen bisexual people, and now we have some trans comedians. It's really awesome though, because if you go to some of our neighboring cities, you don't see that.
Yeah.
Like there's like the gay comedian, and that's it. Which Columbus is just, I guess, popping right now for queer shit. I'm down.
I'm down too. Are you down, Mike?
I am down to clown.
All right. Before we get into your Fierce 5 films, I'm going to ask a few questions to help our listeners get to know you as a movie lover.
Okay.
A little bit more. Would you consider yourself a movie lover?
Horror movies and comic books a lot.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We'll get along.
Well, yeah, I think you and Mike, based on our conversations, I think you'll get along. So I have a few questions, and then we'll hop into your Fierce 5. So First question, what is the most memorable movie-going experience, or one of the most memorable movie-going experiences you've ever had?
I saw one of the Sesame Street movies when I was a kid, and there was a part where they were trying to free Big Bird out of prison, and they were doing this thing where they like told everyone behind them to shh, and then like it was down the line shh, and then like when they were done, I like shh, and I shushed my dad, and then everybody in the movie theater laughed at me. And never really gotten over that.
Was that your first public performance, your first joke?
Yes, it was the first one. It was the last one for a couple decades.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite movie theater or a place to go to movies?
No, I like watching movies at home. I do love being in a theater, but I also chain smoke cigarettes, and I have to pee. I have to pee like almost every 20 minutes because I drink a lot of diet soda.
I will say it is good at home to be able to like pause or stop for like a pee break or to get a snack or a smoke or something like that.
And movies are getting longer and longer
They
too.
are.
But on like if I was doing a devil's advocate to myself, I guess in a way, like I turn off my phone if I'm in the movie theater and I'm not answering like work questions, and then they're like, hold on, let me pause this great movie to answer a work question that you can answer yourself, or book somebody for a show next month. So in a way, it's good to be taken out of the thing and go to the theater, but also I like privacy. And
Well, I actually did hear that there is an app now apparently that tells you. So if you're going to see like the Avengers, for example, it tells you at what moments in the movie you should go pee, because
I've heard of that.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but there's an app that tells you like the best part to go pee, or go get a snack or whatever. So I need to look into that.
It's probably called like potty break or something. It's
Probably. I already own that app. It's weird. So I want you to rank your preference for how you like to watch movies. Okay. So rank these three. One being most preferred, three least. So do you like watching movies alone, with groups of people, or with a special someone, a little datey date?
I don't really go on dates. Thank you for bringing that up. It depends. I mean, if it's the first time seeing the film, I kind of don't want to see it with people that might talk, but like after, it's kind of fun seeing it in a group, I guess, after you've seen it for the first time. I don't know, but I don't really do dates thing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it depends on the type of movie too.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't, go see Avengers with a group of your friends, but like some.
Now, see, a lot of people will say that if you do go on a date, that it's good to see the movie and then like go out to dinner afterwards, so you have something mutual to talk about, like a shared experience.
That sounds lovely.
Wouldn't know from personal experience. So if you're out there, you're a listener, you're single, I think I got someone to hook you up with here now.
Thanks.
I like sad dads.
Sad dads?
Sad dads. Please.
Yeah. Who doesn't like a good sad dad? Okay. So I'm going to run through a list of movie genres.
Okay.
I want you to give me first word or first thought that comes to your head when you think about this genre.
Go.
Okay. Comedy.
No.
Drama.
Yes.
Superhero movies.
Of course.
Science fiction.
Not too smart.
Not too smart.
I enjoy them, but I get confused.
So you like the more superficial, things blow up kind of sci-fi movies.
I was more Thundercats and He-Man, less Transformers.
Okay, yeah. Horror,
Yes.
absolutely.
Every day.
Rom-coms.
If they're done okay, I don't hate
What makes them
them
done okay?
if they're realistic.
Okay.
You know, I don't know.
Action.
I don't know. I like superhero things, but most action, no. I don't
Like a Fast and Furious or
No,
something like
I've
that?
never seen
Absolutely
any of
not.
it. I don't
Okay.
have time.
Die Hard.
Yes, it was okay. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't think I've seen it since VHS days.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, VHS days. Be kind, rewind.
indeed.
Animated movies.
It depends on what it is. Like, I'm not good with like the anime or
No anime.
no. I just don't.
What about like the Pixar?
some of them?
Some of that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then porn.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Favorite genre of porn?
Treasure Island, Bear Daddy stuff.
Okay, so I think we got a good idea of your particular movie taste.
I think you and my husband might get along.
Oh yeah,
They
they have a lot to discuss.
well, it's a certain that's Pete's favorite too. I think.
Oh yeah.
We took the dogs for a car ride. I got excited. And at least it wasn't dogs.
Doug told me when you were saying that they were going on a car ride. Doug said, "I want to go on a car ride." Okay. Well, cool. Well, let's dive in to your Fierce Five. So give them to us in whatever order you want to. Just give us one. We'll talk about it a little bit. We've kind of discussed them a little bit. Mike and I have not a ton of experience with some of your movies, which is really exciting. So I might ask you a little bit about some of them.
Great.
But let's go through whatever order you'd like to. So what do you want to start with?
Okay, I was going to start with Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Woo!
Which is my personal favorite. I grew up watching a lot of horror movies. It's kind of weird. My mom let me watch horror movies when I was like under 10. It was fine. I could watch horror movies. But I had to cover my eyes for the sex scenes, which I always thought was weird. Like, I could literally watch this child molester kill teenagers, but when there was titties, I had to cover my eyes. So I always joke with her, like, that's why I'm gay. Like, killing people is okay. Boobies, not so much. But I mean, it wasn't bad. Like, I'm pretty much okay. Like, I'm not unstable killing people or anything. But I was allowed to watch a lot of horror movies growing up, so I did. Nightmare on Elm Street is always my favorite. Halloween kind of scared me, so I didn't watch those.
Why did it scare you?
I think just the original Halloween, the first couple were really, really. I mean, it scared me.
It's like it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little more realistic.
Yeah.
Like the home invasion movies are the ones that really get me.
Right. I mean, it's like this killer in a neighborhood, and
Yeah. The ones where it's like the haunting, like The Conjuring or something, they don't really scare me too much because it's like, well,
Right.
I haven't seen that. So why Nightmare on Elm Street 3? Anything in particular?
Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was because it was the Dream Warriors. It was where a whole bunch of teenagers were institutionalized, and they ended up using their dream power against Freddy. So like anything they could do, like in their dreams, like Patricia Arquette could do flips, which was kind of setting the bar
Patricia
low.
Arquette was in this one?
That was actually her first movie.
What?
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street is good for Nightmare on Elm Street 1 gave us Johnny Depp,
yeah.
and then Nightmare on Elm Street 3 gave us Patricia Arquette.
What a treasure.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Academy Award winner Patricia Arquette, right?
I'm sorry, Patricia, if you're listening. I should have given you props.
Okay.
But yeah, to me it was really cool. It had some of the better deaths in all the horror movies. There's a kid, Philip, who makes puppets, and there's a scene where like Freddy like literally like rips the veins out of him, and so he's got these veins and he's kind of like doing a marionette puppet thing. He ends up like killing himself. It looks like he just jumped from a building, but Freddy actually like took him to his death. So it dealt with a lot of like suicide and mental illness stuff, but it also kind of like was a fun teenager, like, I don't know, they were like using their dream power, so they were teaming up without parents' help to kill Freddy, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a kid in a wheelchair that
fucking wizard
that becomes
master.
a wizard. Yeah.
What happened?
He was a role player in like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of kid, so his like dream was to be the wizard master. I don't want to talk about that one. There were there's like the junkie girl was cool. I was down with her.
That movie also gave us a young Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
Morpheus?
Yes. He was a orderly at the hospital.
Yeah.
And he was one of the cool adults,
Right.
like helping the kids when he could. But it was really good for the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise because the first one was great, and then
Yeah.
the second one, Wes Craven didn't really write, and they went like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is probably the best gay horror movie ever.
Right.
And it was not supposed to be. Like there were so many gay overtones.
It's so homoerotic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch that. Don't watch porn tonight. Watch Nightmare on Elm Street 2. So many gay things in
Okay.
it. But they were trying
Like locker rooms.
oh yeah, there's like the gym teacher's like a leather daddy. There's like it's great. Right.
Oh.
But also like
Why did
I have it downstairs. You can borrow it.
I watched the first one. I didn't make it to any of the sequels. I missed out.
it's okay.
Oh yeah.
I need to catch up.
Sure. But it kind of saved the franchise because the second one, while it's campy and fun to look back at, like it didn't do that good because they were trying to make like a new Freddy, like so it kind of took away from some of the franchise. The third one brought Wes Craven back. It brought Nancy from the original one back, and it kind of like saved. It made it more of a sustainable franchise.
Yeah, because how many of them did they end up making?
I think there were 6. The first 5 are really special to me because I watched those like repeatedly growing up. Like I had to buy the VHS again, kind of things. There was I think 6, and then a remake.
So 5 went to Freddy's Dead, and then they had Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah, and there was
where it was
Freddy
like the
vs.
actors
Yeah.
in there played themselves,
I
but
feel like
Freddy
I saw
was
part of that one.
haunting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that was
Do
actually
you count the Freddy versus Jason?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was good.
That I saw that one in theaters.
I called in sick to go see that at the theater.
Really?
I was so excited for that.
Destiny's Child girl on that.
yeah.
Which one?
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly
That's
Rowland.
right. Kelly
Yeah.
was in that.
Kelly was in that.
Yep.
She lasted pretty long.
She did. She was
In the
one of
movie.
the. Oh, I was thinking about in life too.
I didn't hate that.
Okay. And did you? So Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Did you first see it in a theater or on VHS?
87, I would have been 7 because I was born in 80. I probably would have saw it on VHS after it was done.
Okay.
There was like a friend of the family who worked at. They had a little mom and pop video store, and they would like bootleg me movies, or like I would get movies. So it was the mom and pop shop was actually down the block from a bar that my mom went to, and I spent a lot of time in growing up. So like when she would she wouldn't get drunk, but she would drink with her friends, and I
Right.
would go because she's a single parent. So I would just go down the block, pick up a couple comic books from the store, and then go to the next place for the video store and get like
Awesome.
some new horror movie. Yeah.
You might appreciate this. My daughter is almost 13.
Okay.
And she loves horror movies. Absolutely loves them. So we have a tradition that anytime there's a Friday the 13th, she comes over and we watch scary movies. And,
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's good stuff.
yeah, and she loves Nightmare on Elm Street. And
What's her favorite?
I'm not. You know what? I'm not really sure because for a couple times in a row we watched the Friday the 13th remake just because it was Friday the 13th. But she really does like the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Poltergeist, I think she really liked.
Yes, Polaris is amazing.
Poltergeist
She
is
keeps
good.
trying to get me to let her watch Human Centipede, and I'm just like,
I haven't even touched that one.
I don't
yet.
want. Nah.
I saw the first one.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's campy, and then I've read about the second and the third ones, and it just seems like it's just too gross.
Yeah,
There-
I have no interest in those.
Now, the first time I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, I was at my best friend's place. We were in college, and he had this cat named Loki, and he had no windows in his place, and of course we had the lights off because it's a horror movie. And during one of the jump scares, unbeknownst to me, Loki was directly behind me on the couch. And right when Freddy was going for someone, Loki jumped on me. And I swear to God, I screamed so loud. If he had windows, I'm sure I would have busted them out. It was very traumatic for me.
Sounds like it was planned.
That cat was a bitch.
Whoa.
And I don't know where it is anymore. Daniel does not own him anymore. But I am glad that he no longer exists in my life.
Okay, enough about Ryan.
Okay, so anything else on Nightmare on Elm Street 3?
No, I mean I was a big. I think one of the main reasons I liked horror movies is like my mom was, I had a shitty stepdad. I had 2 of them. So it was like one of those weird, like, focus on the monsters on TV and don't think about the one in your house kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it goes with same way with comic books in a way, and in reverse. Like, I didn't feel like I had heroes growing up. So I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. So I just kind of got lost in certain cinema and like books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've loved campy horror movies and horror movies forever.
They're great. The campier the better when it comes to horror.
Sometimes.
It's a fine line.
Okay, I don't know why I was looking at my notes. I don't have them on my notes. What's your second Fierce Five?
Second Fierce Five would be The Crow.
The Crow.
Yeah, which is 1994. It was it was based off the 1989 James R. graphic novel, so it was a comic book movie, but it was, I mean, it's really iconic. It had a huge fucking crazy soundtrack, and the 90s was really, really good for soundtracks, like powerful soundtracks. Natural Born Killers had a good soundtrack. Romeo and Juliet.
Pulp Fiction
Had a great soundtrack. Spawn even had they were like, 90s had like, were kind of known for like certain soundtracks. But it was very music driven. It was also important because that's when Brandon Lee was accidentally murdered filming the thing.
Yeah.
So it was released after his death, kind of like an honor to him and his fiancee Eliza. And The Crow, have you seen The Crow?
Yeah, I've seen The Crow.
Okay. Yeah,
it's been a while, but I've seen it.
Basically, Crow brings him back from the dead to get revenge on his murderers and his fiance's murderers. And it was powerful. Maybe in the time for me, because I was kind of going towards a darker route. I was 14 at that time, so I had already kind of been to a mental hospital. Kurt Cobain had killed himself, so I was kind of like going towards a more darker time of my life.
Sure.
And it was also kind of like interesting to me because like Brandon Lee got murdered in the film, so it was like one of those weird like time as a teenager where I could realize like heroes could die, like, you know what I'm saying, like not just old like my friend's grandma kind of thing. So it was kind of like I don't know. It was a weird. Certain movies mean a lot to you because of the time you see them.
Of course, yeah.
So
did you see that one in the theater?
yeah, that one I did see in a theater. I was 14. I saw it with my brother at Northland Mall.
Yeah.
Which is now not that.
It's now the Department of Taxation.
Is it really?
Yeah. It was really cool.
Very different experience.
Yeah.
You could smoke in the mall at that time.
Oh, really? What a time to be alive.
It was.
So, any favorite scenes from The Crow, or any really memorable parts of it for you?
No, I mean, I remember like, I just love the whole thing. It's like really a dark film.
Yeah.
A lot of great cinematography. I like the girl Sarah in it, because she was kind of like taken in by this kind of resurrected ghost dude, and kind of like, I don't know. It was
Cool skater chick.
yes, cool skater chick, funky haircut. She cussed. I liked her. I don't know. So I think maybe a lot of the movies I liked growing up, they didn't really have role models because I kind of looked for something I can identify with.
Right.
So.
Now, have you heard about the reboot, the remake that they're trying to get off the ground for this movie?
I mean, I don't think they need to remake everything. It's a great premise and a great franchise. I kind of actually like the second one. The third one I didn't care for.
Yeah.
And I didn't touch the TV series. The second one had some great villains and some great moments. But
and Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
Or no, was it Iggy Pop?
Iggy Pop was in it,
Iggy
and then
Pop.
I believe, I can't remember if it was a rumor or it was actually true, but the Asian Power Ranger girl was in it.
Oh.
Was she? Was that before she passed away?
Maybe, I don't know. Is she one of those urban legends?
Now,
What? No. What?
Was the third one the one with Edward Furlong and Kirsten Dunst?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Where she injures, like, yeah, that was pretty bad. I
Yeah.
watched that once.
Yep, that was there was actually one more after that one too.
Wasn't it straight to?
It was straight
Yeah.
to
DVD or VHS
Yeah,
or
I think
whatever?
the third one was too, actually.
Yeah.
So they are supposedly they're working on a reboot and with Jason Momoa attached to play Eric
Oh
Draven.
no.
Forget that.
I just his Aquaman. You know how I feel about his Aquaman, Mike.
I know.
But I think it's a. I know they remake everything, but this is actually a really great premise that they could take it in a very different direction to where the original can still exist and be its own awesome thing. But I think they could do a good reboot.
Yeah, they could do it justice.
It means
be
so
for
much
it.
to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's a lot of it has a lot of weird fandom to it too. Like I don't know, because I'm from the goth industrial scene, so I know how many fucking kids like would show up at the bar dressed like fucking the Crow, which like a decade later would be fucking Heath Ledger Joker, the same kind of kids. It was like a weird. It's very identifiable, I guess. It's like weird mentally unstable straight dudes, but I don't know. It was a weird. There is a weird coalition with that.
Yeah. Actually, one of my best friends, he was the Crow for Halloween last year.
Nice.
And everyone at Union kept asking him if he was a clown or the Joker.
Yeah.
I knew he was the Crow. I mean, he had a big fucking crow on his shoulder. Like,
Maybe people do need to be reintroduced to it.
I think so.
It could be fun if they maybe keep the music aspect and kind of like maybe it could be interesting.
Yeah.
And no one dies.
I mean,
making
it's definitely a great premise. And right now, with it being all the superhero movies coming out, I think it's different enough from the like Marvel movies and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, anything else about The Crow that you wanted to mention?
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
Well, then we'll keep it rolling. So, movie number 3,
It's The Hours.
The Hours.
Have you guys seen that one at all?
I'm familiar. Is that
okay.
It's Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman?
It's
Yeah.
2003, 4?
2002.
Meryl Streep?
2002.
Yeah, Meryl Streep and then Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
one I've always wanted to see,
Yeah.
and just never. It's one of those movies like I wanted to, and I never got around to it.
Yeah, it's from it's off a book by Michael Cunningham, and he wrote Home at the End of the World too.
Okay.
So it's kind of like he's kind of known for like as a queer writer and kind of more fucked up sad.
I loved Home at the End of the World.
Yeah.
The book and the movie were both very good.
See, I liked Home at the End of the World, the book, and not the movie as much. With The Hours, I like the movie a lot better than.
I did the audiobook.
Yeah. Okay.
And the cast from the movie read the book and read
nice.
their parts. So it was,
oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, if you haven't seen it, it's basically Nicole Kidman's playing Virginia Woolf, the writer, and as she's writing Mrs. Dalloway, and it goes to Virginia Woolf's suicide. And then in the 50s, Julianne Moore is reading the novel, Mrs. Dalloway, and she's kind of trapped in an unhappy marriage. And then in present day, Meryl Streep is pretty much living the life of the character, Mrs. Dalloway, like throwing parties to cover the silence, taking care of other people, not herself. And it's interesting how all three of the stories kind of tie together.
So is it just like go back and forth between the three?
Yeah, it jumps between all three time periods, but there's still like, I'm not going to give it away, but there are
Right.
things that kind of interlock the stories together.
And those are 3 amazing
Awesome.
actresses.
One also has Ed Harris too as Richard.
yeah.
He's a gay poet dying of AIDS.
Wow. And Nicole Kidman won the Oscar for that one,
Yeah,
didn't she?
it's because she had a fake nose.
She did.
It was transformative.
That's what
remember-
all
I remember
anyone
that.
remembers about her, and
Yeah.
that is her big fake nose.
She did. There's some great dialogue. She actually did. She just seemed really disturbed.
Yeah.
Like she owned it.
So she earned that Oscar.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a pity Oscar for all the other great things she's done.
Yeah. No, I believe it was well deserved.
If it was a giveaway Oscar, it would have gone to Meryl.
All of them do. Now they did use they did a bit on Arrested Development about the Meryl Streep nose. The character. Do you watch Arrested Development? Have you ever seen it?
I did about binge watch one
Yeah.
time, and I have not gone back to it.
The character maybe at one point she's trying to disguise herself, and she works on a movie set, and she just steals the nose.
That's actually kind of amazing.
Yeah. So that's why I know about the nose. Random, right?
Yeah.
So which of did you have a favorite of the 3 storylines?
Virginia Woolf probably.
Yeah.
Although there's parts in Julianne Moore's story that kind of, when she's having a conversation with her husband, it's a weird. I was stuck in a relationship. I was engaged for like almost a decade, and I don't talk about that much on stage. But it was there's like a sense that she was just trapped in this marriage that she didn't want to be in, and her partner just thought everything was great and magical, and him is his kid was going to make him a birthday cake, and it was just like, I don't know. It spoke a lot to me. All 3 of the characters kind of, I don't know. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore is such a queer positive actress. I mean, she
is.
has done so much, so many roles.
She has. Yeah, the kids are all right.
Far From Heaven.
Yep. She's yeah. Now, those are 3 powerhouse actresses. How would you rank the 3 of them? Not just in these performances, but like in general. Meryl, Moore, and Kidman.
On the spot.
I honestly don't know enough about I follow more stories than I do actors.
Oh,
Like,
yeah?
I don't really have favorite. No, I think I'm more of a writer storyteller. Like
Okay.
That's
I
fair.
like stories than I do compared to what somebody does in a role.
That's fair. Do you have a favorite, Mike?
Honestly, probably Julianne Moore
Yeah.
out of those three. I mean, I love Meryl, but Julianne Moore has done so much that I just love.
I think she makes the more creative choices, whereas Kidman and Streep have done a lot more kind of mainstream stuff.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Julianne Moore was in the sequel for Kingsman. I mean, so
Yeah,
she does some
does. I
basic
retract my
roles too.
statement.
But
All right. Did the Hours win any more Oscars? I know they were nominated for quite a few. I just remember Kidman.
I'm really bad at trivia.
You are.
I'm sure.
I
sure
love.
it did great.
Mike knows I love the Oscars. That's all I care about. It's true.
he lives for it.
I live for it. Okay. Anything else about the Hours?
Nope.
I feel like the writing was probably maybe screenplay, because I remember them talking about the writing for it. But okay. What would be, so that was number 3. Movie number 4.
Movie number 4 would be Big Fish.
Big Fish.
Tim Burton directed not by the novel the same name. It had it was. Do you see Big Fish?
I remember I was in a dorm room in college and we were watching. I feel like I came in probably about a third of the way through the movie and started watching it.
I've seen it once.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's basically about fixing relationships between a father and a son. And the father is a big storyteller, and he's on his deathbed, and his son is trying to figure out what was tall tales and what was real.
Yeah.
Like before his dad passes away.
Okay.
But it's kind of done through a weird, like Southern Gothic-y Tim Burton thing. It's a lot brighter than his other movies. But it's also, I think I told you in the car, it was like one of the last Tim Burton movies that I liked.
I feel like I remember it being a lot brighter and a lot more, even though it had some fantasy aspects to it, a lot more grounded, maybe because of the relationship aspect.
At the time, Ewan McGregor was really hot too.
Well, I mean,
Ewan McGregor's always hot.
he's still kind of hot.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think
Who else was in that?
The Helen Carter that he
Helena Bonham Carter,
Yeah.
who's in everything he does.
Yeah,
Right.
that was like only the second time he worked with her. I don't know. It just sort of after Big Fish, it was like a lot of Johnny Depp, and
Yeah.
so it's just like it's all quirky and dark, and it's the same thing. So
He and Helena Bonham Carter were. I don't think they ever married, but
Right.
they were in a long-term relationship. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So why that movie over some of the other like classic Tim Burton movies?
no, I liked a lot of Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
I think I like that one story wise. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very like the end gets me every time. Like I would lose my shit and cry every fucking time.
Yeah, because Tim Burton movies were a big part. I know they were a big part of my childhood too, as 80s.
Yeah.
Well, late 80s kid. Like the Batman and Beetlejuice. The Tim Burton Batman was one of your
Was one of my Fierce Five. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
First one and the second one, Batman Returns. I like that one a lot too.
Oh yeah. I love
Catwoman.
both of those. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That cat lady.
Yeah, that was pre-nipple armor.
I know. If anyone deserves some nipple armor, it was Michelle Pfeiffer. I think she could rock it better than Chris O'Donnell.
Oh, I love Chris O'Donnell.
He's fine. He's fine.
Young Chris O'Donnell or chubby Chris O'Donnell?
Is he chubby now? Chris
think
O'Donnell, call me.
He's rocking that sad dad bod.
Yeah, he's got the dad bod thing going now.
Oh, that's hot. No, I liked him in like Fried Green Tomatoes and like because he was like the good brother that like died, and then Mad Love when he took care of like crazy Drew Barrymore.
I love that movie.
That's a good fucking movie.
Yeah, it is. 7 Year Bitch was in it.
I fucking okay. No, I love 7 Year Bitch.
I do too.
I went to a concert to see them and Tracy Bonham, but it was like Everclear and Space Hog were on it, but I went for the girls.
Okay.
But I got that soundtrack as well. So there was like a good 7 Year Bitch.
I fucking love 7 Year Bitch. Sorry.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for actually knowing who the fuck they are.
Well, you mentioned movie soundtracks. Do you have any favorite movie soundtracks?
I would say probably the overall, probably The Crow as far as how many times I've actually listened to the damn thing over and over again. But that's probably it. The Crow was good. Natural Born Killers was crazy, but it was also Natural Born Killers. The soundtrack in a way was a little too manic and insane, like the film. So it's hard to like sit and listen to the entire thing through its entirety. But the Crow soundtrack I could just play, or the Spawn soundtrack I could play, or Mad Love soundtrack is actually a good one too. Tank Girl actually was another one that had a really good soundtrack in the 90s.
Yeah, 90s did have some fun soundtracks. Space Jam was the first album I ever liked. I know you were that one was on the tip of your tongue.
It was actually if there was like a Sassy 6, it would be Space Jam.
Come back next month.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 4. So we have one left.
Oh my goodness.
Your last one.
All right, I'm gonna make it a little weird with the last one. The last one is Mysterious Skin.
I've actually never heard of that movie.
I have not heard of this one.
All right, this one is it's basically a 2004. It's a drama. It's based off a novel as well, but it's directed by Greg Araki, who did the kind of like, what is it called? It's the Teenage Apocalypse trilogy back in the day, which was Doom Generation, Nowhere, and Totally Fucked Up. Did you guys see those at all?
None of those.
Greg Araki is he's a gay Asian director, and his stuff was like, especially in the 90s, was very it was campy humor, like has like Shannon Doherty like doing the weird. I think she got like shot by an alien. Like it was like very campy humor, but also very apocalyptic, and also a lot of like fluid sexualities.
Wow.
So it was like random dudes that was all of a sudden
yeah.
bi, and all of a sudden these girls were making out, and it wasn't like, oh, that's the sassy gay character.
Right.
You know, it was just kind of like, yeah, this is the end of the world. It doesn't matter. But he had a lot of great movies in the 90s. They call it the Teenage Apocalypse trilogy, but Mysterious Skin came later, and it was it's a serious drama, and it's basically, it's pretty intense. It's kind of like some triggering for some people, but it deals with 2 boys who were molested, and it deals with the 2 different ways that they handle it. One of them becomes pretty much a street hooker, and the other one kind of does this weird thing with like he becomes obsessed with alien abduction.
Wow.
And like the accounting for lost time and like memory lapses and shit like that. So he thinks he was abducted. So it's very interesting. They bring it back together. It has the I'm really horrible with names. What is it?
Oh, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in it?
Yeah, he's the hustler.
Oh.
And it's really good. And it has was it
Was
Michelle
this
Trachtenberg?
pre or post Third Rock?
I don't know.
Or during?
No, 2004. This would
So that would be
be
post.
after.
Yeah, okay. And Michelle Trachtenberg?
Yeah.
Harriet the Spy herself?
Buffy's little sister.
Elizabeth Shue.
Oh my gosh. I need to see this.
It was, I don't know. It's a lot to deal with. Like some people really don't. Between that and The Hours, like both of those kind of deal with some heavier subjects that people don't revisit, and for some reason, I enjoy them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's got like shoegazy movie like songs in it. Like the end scene has like a Sarah song that is like, I don't know. It's really good. The baseball coach is hot.
There you go. That's all I need to know.
So we do a gayest take in all of our shows, and I like how you kind of slid in a gayest take kind of at the end of most. And Ewan McGregor's hot,
Yeah.
and the baseball coach is hot. It's always nice. I mean, you basically get the theme of the show then.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about that one or any of your Fierce Five?
No, I did. I don't know. I do like a talk about horror movies. Like I do love horror movies. I do love how there's like Clive Barker had his Hellraiser stuff like that. Clive Barker's queer horror. The creator of Child's Play is actually queer. Also the creator of Jeepers Creepers, but we don't claim him because he's a child molester.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. I've heard
Fuck that franchise.
I actually don't think I've seen a Jeepers Creeper. And
I
I won't.
The first one was good, and then that was like around the time like I didn't have the internet, so I didn't like know, which is a weird thing. But the second one was just awful. So much of like.
Now, do you think there's a
frat
reason
boys.
why a bunch of queers have made it in horror?
I don't know. I guess it gives them a sense of drama. If they can't be like a drag queen, maybe like like I myself cannot
It's like
do
an anti-drag queen.
Yeah, I can't do makeup.
I can't
or
tuck,
dance.
so these motherfuckers got to die.
Pretty much.
I did not know did you say Clive Barker is he gay or just does?
Clive Barker is gay.
Oh, I didn't
and
know that.
then the guy who created the Chucky,
Pinhead?
the
Oh,
Chucky,
Chucky.
movie. Yeah, because Clive Barker did Hellraiser and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Pinhead and all that, and then other ones like there was other, but yeah. So we've got a couple of queer horror people, and then last year all my Pride shows I wore like a Chucky shirt or a Pinhead shirt, kind of like trying to show that there's other gay people out there.
Yeah. Now, are there any modern horror movies that you really enjoy?
I actually liked the Conjuring one. I liked The Descent. The first one was good.
Oh yeah, it's creepy.
It was a whole bunch of women in a cave, and it wasn't like they were actually like real fucking women like trying to survive. It wasn't like they were like rubbing on each other and making out. I'm like, oh my god, what's happening? It was actually like, oh, these real people in the woods. Or I don't know. So I like those ones. Yeah.
Have you seen The Witch?
Yeah, I didn't really care for that one.
Didn't?
No, I thought it was really beautifully boring.
Beautifully boring.
Yeah.
I get that a lot on dates.
All I've heard was boring.
Maybe that's why I like that movie.
I mean, like visually,
Reminds me of myself.
Visually was good, but like I just wanted like the goat to kill the little girl. I'm just like, this little girl's annoying as shit, and it was really well shot. I didn't find it as exciting.
Now, Hereditary. Have you seen the previews for
Yes,
that one?
yeah.
That looks creepy as hell.
Yeah,
I'm down with that one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. That one's only like a week or two away.
yeah. It's coming up pretty soon. I'm nervously anticipating it because I can get freaked out in like super scary movies, but I still want to see them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it's like a roller coaster. I want to.
Yeah.
I always want to go. When I see it from far away, I get really excited, and then as soon as I'm going up that fucking hill, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
Why am I on this?
Like I still haven't seen The Exorcist.
You haven't?
No,
That was fun.
Mike.
I know. It's because my mom scarred me with that one. She was, "You're going to hell if you ever watch The Exorcist," and
Oops.
I'm going to be going anyway.
Right.
That's a classic. You have to see that one. Next Friday the 13th, get your daughter and
Oh god, that would really fuck my mom up. Hey
Watch-
mom, guess what we watched this weekend?
watch that one between Disney Channel movies. Okay. Anything else?
No, I guess if Hereditary is coming out in 2 weeks, Chris O'Donnell, you have 2 weeks to ask me out on a date to the movies.
Oh, yes. Chris O'Donnell does listen to the show, I believe.
Probably. I don't know what else he's doing.
And if so, I apologize for making fun of your Robin nipples. I didn't mean it.
He makes fun of his Robin nipples. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So are there so aside from Hereditary, is there any other movies that are coming out, to horror or otherwise, that that maybe you're looking forward to?
No, I wanna write my own horror movie. I'm stepping away from comedy. I'm cutting down my shows a lot after Pride and Comfest, so I can try to work on my own horror movie.
Awesome.
It's something I really, really want to do because I didn't feel like there was enough queer representation in horror movies when I was growing up. So I would like to give that to another generation.
If you need a guy to play a dead bearskin rug, I'll do it.
Down.
Or if you're going for that, beautifully boring vibe, just put me in the background.
Anyway, that's I was. A lot of people ask me if I want to move to a different city for comedy or for whatever. I just making a horror movie here with everybody I know and the connections I have here is something I definitely want to do before I ever leave. And I may never leave. I love the city, so I would like to do local people in it, like local bands on the soundtrack. It could be done.
Well, and Columbus does foster creativity in such a great way. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mike's in a band. You could get Mike to do the soundtrack.
Well, yeah. So shameless plug. So, yeah, my band is it's an original band, and our style is kind of like throwback to Black Sabbath-y, kind of like doom sound.
Is that how you know Tucker?
I know Tucker because he grew up in Alaska with my husband.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But we are June 15th, CD release at Ace of Cups.
Nice.
He lives right by there. He'll
Do ya?
be there.
I do.
Yeah. Marcy's band is opening for us,
Nice.
so it'll be a fun night.
Well, since you're plugging shit, Mike, Doug, do you have anything you would like to plug? other than Chris O'Donnell?
You talked about roller coasters a couple minutes ago. That's actually the name of my album.
Yes.
You can get that off Apple Music and Spotify. And
It
I
was
will
in
get
the iTunes top 10 at one point,
top.
wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it debuted at number 7, and then it just went away forever. There was some weird stuff with the album, and I wasn't. Anyway, it's available now. But you can check that out. I have a lot of shows. You can find me on Facebook. Probably my favorite one is First Fridays at Shrunken Head. I think that's it.
That's the variety show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shrunken Head. If you go to Wonder Doug's variety show, it is so much fun. You will see not just comedians, but belly dancers, poets, rappers, like
Puppets,
a little
or-
puppets,
yeah.
a little bit of
Awesome.
everything. It's
Yeah.
really, really fun. And I know we're not doing we don't typically do weekly recommendations on our special episodes, but I do want to recommend Roller Coaster. It is so flippin' funny.
Did you say recommendations?
Recommendations.
Yeah, we do a weekly recommendation every week.
Okay. I'm done.
We have a brand,
Oh.
and we stick to
I mean,
it.
our name is Real Gay REEL. We're built on puns.
Okay.
We're built on puns and bad dad jokes. It's what we do here. Welcome.
Well, it's what I do, and then he makes fun of me for them.
And now you are forever associated with it, so
I'll take it.
accept it. But no, Roller Coaster, download it on iTunes. I did, and the people in the car next to me when I was stopped at a stoplight thought I was the weirdest person because they were looking at me laughing and crying hysterically and didn't know what I was doing, but it was great. So thank you for that moment.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Well, this was our first Fierce 5 guest.
And the
gentle.
last.
I know. It was a lot of fun. I don't think we could have had a better first guest. Don't
No.
you, Mike?
Yeah, thank you very much for coming.
You're
Yeah.
welcome very much.
Thank you, Wonder Doug. Please check out any of Doug's shows, any hopefully upcoming albums and horror movies that happen.
We will put some links in the description.
We will be sure to. Yeah, we'll plug away. Yeah, and you can check out both me and Wonder Doug in Pride Bosco's Bonanza show on June 7th at Bosco's Bar here in Columbus, Ohio, from 7 to 10 p.m. That'll be a lot of fun, and our friend Rory is putting on that show, and all the proceeds go to benefit Kaleidoscope here in
awesome.
Columbus. So there's going to be a raffle, which you got merch too.
Yeah, I'll have merch at the raffle, and I think we're gonna throw in like a gift card from the garden too.
Yeah, so come out to that show as well. That's it.
And Ryan, don't forget, people can find us at Real Gay on Twitter, Real Gay Movie Show on Instagram, and like us on Facebook, of course.
I like you guys in real life.
Aww.
Thank you all for listening. Thanks, Mike, as always.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
This
Thank
was
you.
great. And everyone, y'all, as always, have a real gay day.